Naam, shukrani tena sana kwa kuungana nasi katika Oracle Mtaani,
ambapo tunakutana watu mbalimbali ambao tunaenda kuuliza maswali, wakiweza kujibu watajishindia zawadi
ndani ya Oracle Television, ambapo tunasema hapa ndipo tunakuelimisha, tunakujanjarusha.
Kumbuka hii ni Oracle Mtaani na jina langu ni John Mwema.
Karibu katika kaunti ya Nakuru, mtaa wa Lanet Oasis. Karibu. Naam, maswali ya Oracle Mtaani teketeke yanaanza sasa hivi. Ni nani rais wa tatu wa Kenya?
Moi.
Ni nani rais wa pili wa Kenya?
Kibaki.
Ni nani rais wa kwanza wa Kenya?
Moi.
If they allow me, I go change papa. To go who made me.
Isaac alikuwa mtoto wa nani?
Huyo alikuwa mtoto wa Musa.
I'll take started from October now.
Nani alinyoa Samson?
Si leo madam anaitwa Diana.
Clash numero Octave, Ventus and Aqua Vista.
Maski inaitwa nini kwa Kiswahili?
Barakoa.
Indomie inavaliwa wapi? Indomie inavaliwa wapi?
Sijui.
Indomie inavaliwa wapi?
Kwa mwili.
A stature without a status is equals to statue.
Haya, katika kaunti ya Nakuru, TV ya Oracle TV imeloketiwa wapi?
Iko free area.
Nchini Kenya kuna makabila ngapi?
Ni nini inatumika kusanitize mkono?
Sanitizer.
Sanitizer. Haya, spell the word sanitizer from the word S. Twende.
S-A-N-T.
Rais Uhuru Kenyatta ni mbunge wa eneo lipi?
Uhuru Kenyatta si mbunge.
Uhuru Kenyatta ni nani?
Rais wa nchi ya Kenya.
We will be right back after the break.
We will right after the break. We will right back after the break.
You guys are terrible and fine terrible.
You will right up. We will right back after the break. Yes.
Haya, nani alimunyoa Samson?
Delila.
Solomon alikuwa na wake wangapi?
Wake 7. Okay. Na miasa pana 100.
Hapana, hiyo ameng'oa. Indomie huvaliwa katika sehemu gani ya mwili?
Nini? Ndani.
Uliwahi kula blue tick?
Bado.
Haya, nikikupea utakula?
Mtakula.
Haya, na mtazamaji, Oracle Mtaani imefika katika mtaa wa Bura na tumepatana naye
Steven Ambai.
Tumepatana naye Steven ambaye amejibu maswali yetu vile tulikuwa tunataka, ingawaje mengine ni ya kuchekesha, lakini amejishindia zawadi. Zawadi yake vile mnaiona ni zawadi ya Oracle TV T-shirt. Sasa hiyo wacha avalie tuione.
Nĩ mohoro na njĩra ndaya arĩ thaa 3 cia rũcinĩ gũkũ nĩ Oasis FM. Niĩ njĩtagwo Thuku wa Wanja. Aikari a kaunti ya Nyandarua nĩ mathiĩte na mbere na gũkenerera umithio wa thirikari ya kaunti ĩno rĩrĩ mũrimũ wa coronavirus ũthiĩte na mbere na gũtamba guothe bũrũri-inĩ. Governor wa kaunti ĩno Francis Kimemia nĩ athiĩte na mbere na gwaka wadi na kũruta mbia cia gũtigĩrĩra atĩ arwaru arĩa mekũnyitikana na mũrimũ ũyũ kaunti-inĩ ĩno nĩ megũkorwo magĩteithĩrĩrio. Aikari a kaunti ya Naikuru gĩcigo kĩa Lanet nĩ macakaĩte na njĩra nene kuona MCA wa gĩcigo gĩkĩ kĩao nĩ akoretwo akĩmatiganĩria kwa ihinda, kuona ndakoretwo akĩmarũmbũiya kũmarũmbũiya na kũrora mabataro mao. Ũcio nĩguo mũthia wa mohoro mangĩ nĩ thaa 7. Thiĩ na mbere na gũtũthikĩrĩria. Niĩ njĩtagwo Thuku wa Wanja.
Haya, kama unavyoona huyu amejibu maswali, ameonyesha kipawa chake. Tukikutana nawe katika mtaa wako, jiprepare kwa kila chochote ambacho uko nacho. Talanta ambayo umebarikiwa nayo, ukaweza kutuonyesha diposa nawe kwa shinde zawadi mbalimbali. Huyu amejishindia reflector. Washa hapa tuone. Hapa kwanza tuone. Hai. Funga. Na uangalie mbele.
Naomba nyinyi wote muendelee kuwatch Oracle TV na Oracle Mtaani.
Haya, now mtazamaji, now this is the eating competition. Tunataka tuone nani atakula mandazi 5. Hapa tuko na mandazi na hapa tuko na soda. Kwa dakika moja. Hao ni watu wawili kwa jina?
Abdalla Mahima.
Na wewe?
Paul Moshiri.
Sawa, wanakula mandazi 5 kila mmoja na soda moja kwa dakika moja. Haya, wacha tuone. Haya, in 3, 2, 1, action! Dakika moja. Harakisha! Harakisha wewe! Harakisha! Haya, inaanza kuisha. Elijah! When mnamaliza wa kwanza ni zawadi. Haya. Zawadi. Haya. Haya. 5 seconds. Weka kwa mdomo. Weka yote. Haya. Hai. Hai. Wewe, ngoja soda ijaisha. Kama vile umeona mtazamaji, mchezo umeisha. Ulikuwa ni eating competition, mandazi 5 na chupa ya Coke. Soda. Sasa Mokorino hapa ni yeye ameshinda. Hata mafanzi wamesema ni yeye ameshinda. Ni yeye ameshinda. Anasema ni yeye ameshinda. Sasa kila mtu ameona vizuri Mokorino ni yeye ameshinda. So sasa ameshindia nafasi ya kupata t-shirt ya Oracle TV. Wacha tuone wakipewa. Huyu mwingine apewe kitu asipewe. Ahurumiwe. Haya, sawa. Tutampea hata kama ni nini. Haya pa. Haya pa. Hivyo pa. Haya, huyu na yeye tunasema huyu ndiye winner. First runners up ni yeye ameshinda wakiwa wa pili. Wacha tumpee zawadi yake na yeye.
Oracle TV, the picture is here.
Till next time, tuita katika mtaa wako, enda kwa Oracle TV, Oracle Television Network, kwa social media, enda kwa YouTube, enda kwa Facebook, sema unatuhitaji pia katika mtaa wako. Kumbuka jina langu ni John Mwema na mwenzangu hapa.
Naye mzee mzito ndani ya nyumba Njoroge Evans aka Rich Pepper. Oracle Mtaani, hapa ndipo.
Hello and welcome to Oracle Mtaani. We are at the Blue Line Security Kennel in Kiamunyi. We are going to do a dog interview today. We want to know the importance of dogs and pets in our homes. How do they help us as humans? We hope that you will enjoy this special feature on the Oracle Mtaani show. And we are going to be joined by two lovely ladies, Linda and Tasha, and they will share more with us in a short while. Thank you.
Good Gazi. Good dog. Gazi, lead. Gazi, lead, come. Start. Gazi, no, come. Come, Gazi, good girl, come. Enter down. Down, stay. Enter, sit. Stay. Enter, come. Come on. Good boy, come. Good Ranger, boy. Good Ranger. Ranger, lead. Come. Good boy, come. Come on, good boy. Good boy. Ranger, lead. Ranger, lead. Come on. Ranger, come on. Come here, good boy. Here, come. Good boy, come. Come, sit down. No, Ranger, come.
We hope that you will learn something about a dog and a pet in a family setup. I am delighted to host. She is an animal rights activist. Her name is Linda. She will say hello to the viewers. And I am delighted to also be joined by Tasha. She is the owner of this lovely dog, Lady Gaga, if I may call her that, because it's a she, it's a female dog. So she will be telling us about her relationship with her pet, and I hope that you're going to enjoy this show. So Linda, say hello to our viewers.
Hello, my name is Linda Nyawera. Like she has said, I do events under Concierge Mediacom, and I also do hold a particular event that actually covers dogs only. It's the Nakuru Pets Festival. Welcome, and I'm looking forward to giving you more information about dogs and how we relate to it in society. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, say hello to our viewers, Tasha.
Hello, I'm Tasha. I'm a candidate. I'm 14 years old, and I'm here to tell you about my relationship with my dog Gaga.
Right. All right. So Linda, tell us about the difference between a pet and a dog.
A pet is also a dog. And a pet can also be any other. You find people who have fish as pets. There are people who have even snakes as pets, but today particularly we are talking about the dog.
Yes.
There are different kinds of dogs, of course, very many breeds. So far we have about 340 breeds of dogs worldwide. But now specifically now being in this country, we have quite a number where people use dogs basically for protection. They use them for companionship, and we're going to talk more about that. The reason why we decided to do this feature and why we talk so much about the dog is a dog is a different kind of an animal from the rest of them, because it has its innate nature to communicate with the humans more than any other animal. And the way it relates to the human, that is why it is easier to domesticate a dog. So I think that's better.
That's better.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So Tasha, tell us about your relationship with Lady Gaga, or Gaga as you call her, and how you are able to relate with her, and what you can say is the importance of a pet to you as a child.
Okay, we've been with Gaga for like 3 years now.
3 years now.
And my relationship with Gaga, we are so close. And the importance of pets is like, companion. Yeah, to me.
To you. So would you prefer having a certain lady, let's say by name Maya, as compared to, would you, if you were to choose between your girlfriend, a lady friend, your schoolmate, and Gaga, who would you choose?
I'd pick Gaga.
You'd pick Gaga.
Yeah.
And why would you pick Gaga?
Because humans, maybe let me say, Gaga, she's humans, they're like, girls, dramatic mostly.
They're dramatic,
yeah.
Right?
So I would choose Gaga.
You'd choose Gaga over me as your friend?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's very good to hear. So why did you start the campaign about dogs, and what impact have you had on society, Linda?
Okay, basically when I started, I usually do a lot of events, different kinds of events that are productive to society.
Right.
And my son came up with the idea of having a dog show. He's very interested in dogs, and he would always walk in with a dog. He'd walk out with. So we decided to pick up an idea as a fun activity. But when we went on, we realized there's a whole dog world out there that we can talk and educate people that this is actually an animal that can bring benefit to society. So we have been going on with those campaigns, and also to try and protect the animal against any animal cruelty as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you can say confidently you're an animal rights activist.
I would say so.
By design or by default?
By design, I guess.
By design, eh? Yes. So your love for dogs is actually very evident.
Yes.
You can tell me about your son briefly, about something you mentioned a few minutes earlier.
Oh, okay. Way back, my son got a sort of an infection when he was 4 years old, and he totally lost his memory, and all his vitals had collapsed. But thank God that he's now okay. And when he now started functioning normally, he was actually blank. And we had to teach him from scratch everything, from his name, from his mom, and right now he's totally upright. But as we moved on, he was really retrogressing on his studies, and he was not able to relate to his peers. But I also realized that I also had to nurture what he liked, because of course he's my child. If he's not doing well in education, I have to nurture him with what he likes. So I realized that he has a very good, he loves dogs very much, and I decided to let him have it. So when I got him a dog, I realized that he actually improved in his learning, very much so. You wouldn't even know that it's the same child who was sick 4 years ago. He's now 12 years old, very astute and doing very well in his studies, and he's a very good communicator, and he became very close to his dog. So that's how I realized that there's the importance of the dog to society, and even children who have mental abilities or inabilities, or any other challenge, that can also help your children to improve on that. So that is is what has driven me to be doing these events and also to be doing these campaigns, because I have seen it working in my home setup.
With your own child?
Yes, with my own child.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, Tasha, what would you say is the importance of having a pet in a family setup? Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
Do they relate well? Do they all have dogs, or is it just you?
It's only Gaga, it's only
So, and she's specifically your dog?
Yeah.
So
she's friendly to everyone.
She's friendly to anyone. So what would you say is the importance of having pets in the family?
Okay. Having pets in the family, it's like part of the family.
Oh, so Gaga is part
Gaga
of your
is
family.
Part of the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can you say you and your siblings have been able to either learn or develop? Is it like a new habit when you and your siblings relate with Gaga?
Me and my siblings, we are like me and my siblings. We love Gaga so much that Gaga, she loves balls actually. So at our place, like, we are not so, as in there's not a lot of neighbors. So we just play Gaga with the balls. Yeah.
Balls like the soccer balls?
No, small ones.
The small balls.
Yeah.
So she's actually very playful.
Yeah,
you
playful.
can join her when she's playing, yeah? All right, okay. So Linda, what kinds of pets do we find in Kenya?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, we have about 340 breeds worldwide, but in Kenya we are very specific with some very popular ones. Like, for example, you've seen the German Shepherd, there is the Rottweiler, there is the Labrador, there is the Spitz, there's a Retriever, there's a Spitz, there's a Chihuahua, and there's the Maltese. Those are the most common breeds.
In Kenya?
Yes.
Okay.
So being the first category being used for protection, and the rest are usually household pets. Yes.
All right. Okay. Okay. So featuring in the dog, tell us what we need to know why this particular animal is peculiar. Why are dogs peculiar to us people and as a family, as a community, as a society? Yes.
Well, basically, looking at the history of the dog, a dog is actually, it evolved from a wolf.
A wolf?
Yes, it's actually
so
a wolf.
There's a history of dogs.
There's a history of dogs.
So a dog is originally a wolf.
It's originally a wolf, and it evolved in a setup where it used to come to the camps where people were staying to scavenge for leftovers. And women were the first nurturers of pets because they would give the dogs food, and that's how they became domesticated. Why then they realized that these dogs, when they stay with them, they could alert them if there's danger coming in, and they would alert them if at all there's anything that is going to harm, because then the dog became a protective animal to this society where they were feeding. So that's how the dog became domesticated. Then they later on came to learn that actually this dog has a lot of benefits, because it's cleaning up, because we leave leftovers and we find the dog has eaten it. If there is any invader or there's prey, the dog will alert us. And they realize that the dogs are very loyal. So I think being in a family setup, that has not changed up to now. Only that people have actually adapted to having them as friends, as pets, and also as companions, especially after the Second World War, where people were not interacting, but people now became loners. You'd find somebody is just living with their dog. So I think that's how.
Wow, you've done your history quite
yes,
well.
I
actually didn't know. I know there are dogs and wolves, but that's quite some good information for our viewers.
Yes.
Let me ask you on animal care. I'll start with you and then I'll ask her something. On animal care, what are the basics when somebody is looking after a dog or a pet?
Well, basically there is the vaccines, there is the cleaning, which we call grooming, and also now the nutrition part of it. A dog is actually one of the animals that can actually survive on a carbohydrate diet more than any other animal, and that's why still it fits in the family setup. You eat your chapati, you can throw. There's some dogs that are selective, but they can survive on a carbohydrate diet. So I think on animal care, basically, it doesn't take a lot. Dogs are very simple. Basically, if you groom it, you vaccinate it against viruses and bacteria, then and you also give it the proper nutrition, then I think you're good to go. And exercise as well.
Exercise.
Yes.
It does need exercise.
Yes, it needs exercise.
What kind of exercise for a dog?
For example, you must walk your dog.
That is, when we see people walking dogs, that's now a dog on
Yes,
exercise.
that's a dog on exercise. We have seen a demonstration. That is part of exercise. It's part of training. So that is also part of animal care.
Why is it important that the dogs are exercised or are made to exercise? Why is it important?
Well, there's some dogs that need to be agile. We call it agility in the dog world. So these dogs need to. They also have muscles, yeah, and they also need to build their bone structures as well. So just like us human, you can't just sit in one place and expect to be healthy and fit.
All right.
Yes, you must move. So it's the same case with a dog.
Okay.
Yes.
So Tasha, tell me about your care for Gaga. What do you do? How often do you wash her? Take her to the doctor? Something like that.
Okay, I wash her like 2 times a month.
2 times a month?
Yes, twice a month.
Okay.
And grooming, nutrition too, and exercise, as she said.
So washing and grooming, those are 2 different things? It's one and the same?
Yeah.
So when you, what products do you use to wash Gaga?
We just use soap and a nice brush.
You don't do shampoo and
do
all
shampoo.
those sophisticated things we see on TV? You do?
Yeah.
Okay. And where does Gaga stay in the house? Does she have a place where she
She
can...
has a place where she stays.
All right. Okay. Still part of grooming and animal care. So twice a month, is that enough? And they get the fleas and
No,
stuff?
it's enough.
It's enough. So once you wash it, takes care of the fleas and all that. All right. Okay. So we have had a scenario in Kenya where some counties are actually killing dogs for animal control. What is your take on that?
Well, that is in the category of animal cruelty in our world. Well, it is good to do population control, but there's something else that we can do for population control called neutering. I think in layman's language they call it dog castration.
Neutering is dog castration.
Yeah, so they can instead of killing, we are also against animal cruelty. They can think about neutering. Yeah, that's one of the things they can do to control dogs. There's also organizations that adopt dogs that are stray. For example, the KSPCA in Naivasha, in Nairobi, they're there. So I think those are better ways of population control. Killing dogs is
wrong.
It's cruel.
It is cruel.
Yes.
Okay. And where do those animal rights, like the one you've mentioned in the Naivasha, that's a government body or somebody?
No, it's actually a private. It's an NGO. It's a non-government organization. But they usually get sponsorships and donations. You can always visit them if you like. You can find them online. Yeah. They're all over.
All over.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So that's very good. So a coin has 2 sides.
Okay.
You've spoken so well about dogs. I would be delighted to carry Gaga with me.
Yeah.
But there's always a flip. On the flip side, what would you say is the other side of a dog that is not pleasant to us human beings?
Well, I would say so many good things about dogs. But there's, of course, some children develop allergies.
All right,
To animals that shed, so that's a disadvantage. But that can be countered by introducing a dog to a child when the child is still young. The child develops resistance to the allergy.
Okay.
You can also choose a breed that does not shed. So that is something that can be countered. Something else is probably the expense of feeding. I don't know what you feed your dog on. What do you feed your dog on?
She's asleep. Wake up.
On Bravo.
Oh, you feed your dog on Bravo. Okay, awesome. Okay, so maybe you have to buy dog food. There's some who maybe that's an expense. Then maybe the cleaning and yeah, it's a lot of work. So that's just the only disadvantage. But all this you counter them with love for the animal. Yes.
So when you say what's the breed of this?
Tell us.
She's a golden retriever.
Golden
Retriever.
retriever. what is special about, and what's the difference between this one and a Chihuahua? Because it looks like it's too big a dog for a pet. What's the difference between this and a Chihuahua?
A Chihuahua is very smaller.
Much smaller?
Yeah.
So just the size?
Yeah, it's only the size.
Only the size.
Yeah,
Why did you, and the ears? So why did you choose this one over a Chihuahua? Did you choose it for yourself, or was it bought for you by your parents?
No, I
or
chose it.
You chose it. Yeah. Why specifically this one?
She's pretty.
She's pretty.
That's the love for the dog.
Okay, so she's pretty, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, do you ever get tired of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do. You do. All right. And why? What makes you tired?
Okay. You have to feed her all the time. Like
So
wash
it's,
her.
so it is actually a responsibility
Yeah,
to take care of
yeah.
a dog. A huge responsibility, I would imagine.
Yes, not really that huge, but you just require commitment, and you just need to be very dedicated to having a dog as a pet or as a protective animal. Yes.
So how do you balance your studies and being like the chief custodian of Gaga? Because I think you're best friends, eh? So how are you able to balance your studies and caring for a pet?
And my studies. Actually, I study thrice a week.
Thrice a week?
Yeah.
Which school do you go to?
Light.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just see the remaining days. That's when I spend it Gaga. But the other days for study.
For study. So it's in your school calendar. That's how you study.
No, it's just me.
Your own personal study. All right. Okay.
Awesome child. Awesome child.
Yeah.
At least there's
She's able
extra.
to balance.
Yeah, she's able to balance.
All right, okay. Yes. So, and your final take on dogs, animal rights, the pet festival that is coming up soon in August?
Well, right now we're not able to do the event because, the social distancing and stuff, but we can do this kind of campaigns because that is usually the objective of the event, basically. So, my final take, I would like to say that humanity can actually begin with
Look at the camera.
humanity could actually begin with your affection to animals, and you can actually now become more human by staying with animals. You see, people have become very cruel to each other, and they're cruel to animals, and we call it animosity.
Animosity.
Yes,
Yeah.
but when your affection to a dog, we call it you're human, So we say humanity can actually begin with affection to the animal. We see also there's something else I would like people to embrace. Right now, the government is actually thinking so much about the cases of depression on the rise right now. Something that we also left out, that a dog is actually a companion. They're also trying to see how they can manage the crisis with depression. You'll find that most families that have pets, the levels of depression and suicide are very low.
Is that a research that has been
Yes,
done?
it is true.
So people with mental health issues.
Yes.
And someone has a dog.
Yes, there's something actually called dog therapy.
Dog therapy.
Yes.
All right, tell us briefly about dog therapy.
Dog therapy. Dogs are very, very interesting. Well, do you know a dog can actually even detect cancer before you know you have it? Like it can actually, like for example, you have your dog with you, we have Gaga. It can lick one part of your body and it's consistently talking to you and telling you there's something here in your body.
It can tell.
It can smell cancer in
It
your...
can smell cancer.
Yeah, it can even smell. That's how effective a dog is. So when I tell you that a dog is actually a companion, it is actually a very serious thing. When you have a dog in your house, you have something to do. You can talk to your dog, even like a human. It doesn't talk back, but it has a way of communicating to you more than any other way. You cannot tell an angry bird or a mad lion, but you can tell an angry dog or a happy dog. So that means that we can communicate to animals. So that communication, it helps people to get their depression on the low. Yeah, so people are depressed because they don't have someone or something they can relate to, some affection they can give or they can receive, but you can receive dogs from your animals. So you can receive affection from your animals. So I would like, number one, to say that people need to be very affectionate to the dog. You need to embrace dogs in your home. to combat depression,
mental
health issues. You will find, like, in a family setup, everybody has a responsibility to take care of the dog. So that encourages family bonding. So that is in the case where even if mama and baba, they are arguing, then they remember, oh, by the way, you're the one who's going to feed the dog, or you're the one who's walking the dog. Then there's something else that's going on in that family. So you will find that suicide cases and these depression cases are actually on the low. So I would recommend dog therapy, and I would tell people that humanity would actually start by showing affection to the animal.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So Tasha, your final take. Have you ever imagined life without Gaga?
Yeah.
What if your parents suddenly decided, because now you're going to high school, you're going to sell Gaga? How would that affect you?
Okay. It will affect me emotionally. First,
Emotionally, why?
because she's a companion.
She's a companion, yes.
And she's like my best friend actually.
Okay. So you would be affected. So what would you tell a teenager on a TV about caring for a pet, loving a pet, and just basically encouraging someone who is watching us right now, a student like you, during this COVID season that we are in right now? Tell our viewers something.
Okay, so it's okay to have a dog. Some people are scared of dogs, but it's just okay to have a dog. And it's a companion. It's someone to talk to if you don't have anyone to talk to. And yeah, just stay safe.
Just stay. We should stay safe, eh? All right. So we have come to the end of our interview. This is an interesting feature story. We hope that you have learned something. Dogs like Gaga here, who's fast asleep, are our companions. And if you can afford one, if you can take care of a dog or a pet at home, we have heard from an expert here saying that a dog can actually bring your stress levels down, your mental health problem down, your depression level down. Dogs are companions. We should love them. We should actually keep them and stop this animosity between humanity and animals, and specifically dogs. Thank you for watching. We love you. This is the Oracle Television Network. The future is here.